Greetings from the Ancient Ones, the Titans, Part 2. What is nature? To you, nature is something that you take for granted, that it is what it is. Some have tried tinkering with it, and some have let it be as it is by considered it to be something of divine. So, what is nature? In the scope of one's lifetime, an individual's lifetime is never sufficient to witness any evolutionary changes. If you plant an orange seed, it will give you orange. If you breed a cat, it will breed a cat. So, it appears that there is a constancy in nature. Some have already suspected that nature has been tampered with. It is something that was not always as it is. That there are inconsistencies in nature. Why are other people born with disabilities? Why are there diseases? Why are animals eating other animals? Why is there violence? In conversing with the Titans, also known as the Ancient Ones, they claimed that it is a product of who they once were, and it was reconstructed based on the principles they have pioneered. Looking at the physical level and the mechanism of biology makes one wonder, was nature a product of an intelligence design? An intelligence design. Based on physical principles, humans have been able to construct amazing structures and machinery. It is these similar principles that biology is made up of, as this reality is a collection and a set of principles. It is therefore these principles that reflect on biology. Thus, the principle and biology are one and the same, the principles and matter are one. In any given reality, there are constructs and principles, and it is through these principles that reality emerges from. It can be said that while humans create machines, structures and electronic devices might appear as something very separate or artificial from what is nature, however artificial something might be, it is not that different from nature, as these principles are what dictates, accepts, or allows a mechanism to function. Though artificial, it is at best in its infancy of a natural mechanism. These principles are always the same and can never be violated. The same could be said with human inventions and technology, that it was not that technology came into existence out of nothing, as every human invention had to have a natural and genuine need behind it, for it to prosper. As you investigate, you will also realize that most inventions are accidental in nature, or were born out of necessity, and that even when an individual is pursuing a specific invention, there was already a genuine need behind that invention, which was natural. This would conclude that even what appears to be artificial is also part of nature, and therefore all is natural. Your mind is limited to this reality, as the mind is purely based on this reality's construct. Consciousness is the predecessor of this reality, consciousness is the light that animates this reality, and the mind is the revealed structure of reality. Mind is of a substance as you would see fluid, and therefore intentions are also substances. Once a substance of intention is dipped into the mental substance, this mental substance will then flow along and become molded into the structures of that substance of intention to construct or magnify that intention into a heavier substance of feelings. The intentions are presented as sets of vibrations, sequence, and rhythms. It is these organized patterns that become physical matter, hence biology. It should be clear that it is not that the patterns are impressed upon the material substance, but the pattern creates a material substance, meaning there is a newly manifested matter, that it doesn't require any material to manifest, but it creates its material. And therefore, when nature manifested here, it was a product of higher realms, and not an organized pattern impressed upon the matter. Therefore, nature is what once manifested not on this reality, but manifested as this reality. Plants, for example, when there is a seedling, it appears as if it consumes the random elements to sustain itself so it can grow. However, if you can trace these elements and energies, you will discover that they are on the same networks of energies, and that it is a mere cycle of the same energies and material that recycles itself or transforms itself from one state to another, from that of energetic nature to that of material. Whenever these networks of cycles are broken, as seed damaged, an animal killed, they will restart the same cycle again by going back to their original source. As it is just one pattern, we see its multiplication because of the nature of space and time. To this moment, what we have as nature is an ancient manifested reality, which is deteriorating, not only at the biological level but also at energetical, physically, and principles. The reason for deterioration is caused by the cycles of that which project this reality. The sole supplier of manifesting energies is disappearing. With the absence of light, darkness excels. The owner is not home. As everything requires attention to prosper. And it is these ancient ones that once illuminated their attention to manifest what we know as nature, and essentially a reality. This phenomenon makes us the reflection of that which manifested this nature. These beings are known by many as the Ancient Ones or the Titans. The rise of biological deformations, the rise of environmental pollution, the rise of social and moral decline, the molecules becoming unstable, the misalignment of planets, is the result of the absence of that spark of life. As the sun sets, the darkness lingers, as old age knocks, the death is around the corner. It is at these moments that we fall into a deep slumber, waiting for the new dawn to wake up again and flourish. And this absence of life is not actual absence per se, but rather the seasons and periods on which this spark of life pulsates, as there are 8 phases of the moon representing the degrees on which light is distributed to the planet. As these rhythms rise and fall, that's when what you understand as nature becomes totally dormant or fully alive. You use the mind to explore reality, but you use your consciousness to create and uphold the entire reality. A pure mind is an unaltered reality. Consciousness is not just awareness, but an illuminating spark of awareness. It is an indwelling house of the beingness, the house of you, and it is through the presence of you that the hierarchy of life protrudes from the consciousness to the physical environment. Though we appear to be in the same physical environment, our surroundings are the results of what is already within us. And it is that through accumulating, or inviting the whispers of the heart, that we manifest this reality. This is to say that all that we experience and see is something that has been whispered to us before it manifested outside. As what we regard as an external is the product or the shadow of what is us. And it is through the whisper that a being manifests a body. Then if these whispers convince a being that it is solely physical, if the being accepts this whisper, it is doomed to cease to exist. Death is a choice or an acceptance as much as life is an acceptance. Whispers of the heart. The heart to you is already a rather mystical and important part, as it holds emotions. Emotions are the transitional elements between the mental and the physical. The feelings are closer to the physical, and the mental as the heart acts as the mediator. We live for emotions. I want to feel good about my life, I want to feel good about my wife, I want to feel good about my job. The list is endless. As emotions are the driving force of life. According to the Christian Bible, it was the breath of life that gave the created man life. The lungs go hand in hand with the heart, and therefore the heart could be regarded as the largest gland of the body as it distributes the largest fluid into the body. It is the blood that is considered to be the supplier of one's life. If the blood is contaminated, then the entire body becomes contaminated. Now people understand that the heart does not only supply blood, but also generates an electromagnetic field around the body. Thus it is safe to say that the heart subtly is the generator of reality. The soul doesn't dwell in the mind but the heart, as the heart is the first organ to function during the formation of an embryo. Thus it is those rhythms, those fingerprints of the heart pulse that has the signature of the soul. Therefore, the things that you hold by the heart become part of you. The feelings about something becomes you. If you feel good about your life, feel good about your wife, feel good about the children, you are then associating these signatures with your soul. These are the whispers of the heart. When someone says I like this, I like that, then they become it, as they associate those things with themselves, therefore their souls. And it is through these whispers that a person shifts their vibrations from one state to another. It is these clusters of feelings, or clusters of vibrations, which migrate with a person from one lifetime to another. Because little children don't think with their minds. They go by how they feel about something, about patterns on which are the memories from the heart. Water memorizes patterns and vibrations, and thus it is the same way a person can recollect his past lives through patterns. which are then translated by the master projector of a reality, which is the mind, the decoder and receiver of all vibrations. The end.